thank you, Professor Brooks, for those very emotional words. It's very real for all of us, and it means a lot as a black man to see all these folks, not just my black brothers who know what we've gone through, but to see all of your faces here in support. All right, and so I encourage you all to get involved in the lives of black boys, right? So we're on campus, we're getting our education, we're wearing suits, we're wearing ties, but there's a lot of black boys in the city who aren't doing that. You know, what is a black life worth? What about those black boys who don't know what their life is worth? We know what it's worth, but what about those black boys who don't know what their lives are worth? Trayvon was a good kid. He had a sweet tooth, he would get some Skittles. There are some black boys who want to get far more dangerous things than Skittles and iced tea. So ask yourself, what would you do to get involved in this city to change the direction of the lives of every black man and every black boy? Our final official speaker, and then we will open the floor up to anybody who has something to share. We want to invite Dr. Ricky Jones to share some final words with us.
Wear a hoodie intentionally, and I knew this brother would be here and not have a hoodie either. This is Dr. Dewey Clayton from the Department of Political Science, my Morehouse brother, and what we share is the educational lineage of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that we brought to Louisville along with us. And I think Dr. Clayton would tell you that neither one of us is emotional right now or surprised, because in about an hour in a classroom right over here, my political violence class will see a video and we'll have a discussion about another young black boy who was killed simply because he was black. In 1955 in Money, Mississippi, Emmett Till was tied to a fan and sank to the bottom of a river because he behaved inappropriately toward a white woman for no other reason than because he was black. Dr. Clayton and I both have done work on Barack Obama. And we'll say this to you. Understand, we are not in a post-racial society. And people need to understand that. So I don't want to talk about Trayvon Martin specifically. Because understand, Trayvon Martin is all over this country. In every state, every city, from northwest to southeast. Every day. The great thing about Trayvon Martin is that this is made public, something that we've suffered in private about for years on end. People understand this. Right now, understand the situation that black people are in this country. In 2012, not 1912, right now, black families only earn about 60% of what white families earn. Keep that in mind. Black men are only about 5 to 6% of the population, but we make up almost half of the jail and prison population of this country. Quantitatively, there are more black men and boys in prisons than there are on campuses of colleges and universities. Right now, 2012, before Barack Obama was elected, and afterwards, this country talked about we couldn't let the unemployment rate get to double digits. Before the economic downturn, black unemployment was over 13%. Right now, it's over 16%. Black male unemployment is bordering on 19%. This is what we're dealing with in this country. Increased levels of infant mortality, recidivism, disproportionate incarceration, and yes, disproportionate deaths. So what are we to do? I tell my students all the time, and Dr. Clayton tells his, you are not here to play games. We've never had a generation of black people in this country where more than 19% got bachelor's degrees. And you can't do much with that these days. You can leave this university with a 2.0 or a 4.0, and they're not the same thing. You ain't here to pledge. You ain't here to find a husband. You ain't here to find a wife. You ain't here to be a thug. You ain't here to play games. You ain't here to be the smartest, sharpest person. Colleges and universities are always 10 to 15 years ahead of the communities in which they sit. University of Louisville may be 25 years ahead of this city. So the question is not about you crying It's not about you grieving. It's about what are you going to do to make yourself, be you black, white, male, female. What are you going to do to make yourself a warrior in the struggle for humanity and equality, to make this country what it says it was at its founding? You are the future police chiefs who would have arrested George Zimmerman. You are the future lawyers who can analyze the Stand Your Ground law and wipe it out of existence. You are the future professors who can teach the history of race, class, gender in this country and put it in context. That's on you. Understand where you are. Understand who you are. Understand where this country is, and understand that you better be damn well ready to make it something different. So remember that. So in closing, I say this, and I gotta have my brother Dr. Clayton say something. Trayvon Martin is not the disease. His case was just a symptom. And if you miss that, you missed the point. Because if it was all about Trayvon Martin, this would be over right now. Trayvon Martin is dead. Emmett Till is dead. In this city, Rodney Abernathy, dead. And many other people across this country, dead. What are you gonna do to help the living? Dr. Clay.